Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up. And today, getting on with actually putting this frame up today. Got a friend coming down in a little while to help, hopefully. Yeah, so we're just going to crack on with it and see how far we get. Now, as you'll imagine, with polytunnels, there are a variety of fittings that you need to put these things together. And what we have here, and what I'm just putting on roughly, this is a Q-clip, and this sits at the end, at the bottom of the foundation tube, the second tube in, because that's going to be a brace bar that's going to go up at that sort of an angle to the front bar to steady it. And there's one on each corner, so there's fittings here for that one behind me and the two across there. This fitting here just screws directly onto the foundation tube, and this is where this hoop will sit on top of to start the construction. So you can set that height anywhere you like, and what you do is you set them all up level, and then later on you relax that and pull the tunnel down to tighten the plastic. So this is just a first of a multitude of fittings that I've got to go around and install on the tubes themselves before putting it together. Okay, so we've made a little bit of progress today. It's just absolutely tipped it down for this last hour, and we haven't been able to get anything done. I mean, look at the state of this here. So I've just packed up to go home, put everything away, and it stopped. So I thought, well, I'll come out here for a second and do a little bit of filming. So you can see here on this foundation tube, this is the collar at the top where the hoops sit on, and this is the fitting at the bottom where these brace bars fit, and they go all the way up to here and fit up here, and this is what holds and braces this whole structure. So because it's a short tunnel, it's only 18 foot long, there won't be a brace in the middle, but there'll be one between these two tubes. So we're actually halfway through, if you like. We've got half of the frame up. The other two hoops we're going to put up tomorrow, and then we can start leveling, straightening, tightening, truing up and getting it ship shape, and then we can move on. Well, this is where we're up to now. Slipping and sliding everywhere. So there we are, you can see down the side there's two more hoops to go on. So this is as far as we've got over the last couple of days. It's been torrential rain and howling winds, and we've probably managed about just over an hour and a half, getting on for 2 hours of work on this. And essentially all it is the hoops themselves come in 3 pieces, and you just lay them flat, assembled, put together, and then you put a tack screw in the joint. So through both pieces of metal, the metal's swaged at one end, a bit like a tent pole, and then you drill this tack screw right through and it holds it solid. And then all you've got to do is just lift the hoop onto the foundation tubes, which you've seen in a previous video, and run a pole through the top. And it's that simple. And then of course there's the diagonal brace bars. We'll go over and have a closer look. So there's a couple of things worth noting here. At the moment this tunnel is 8.5 foot tall. Because down here on the foundation tubes, I'll just show you, that's the collet that holds the frame up. The hoop itself goes over, and if I allowed it to, would go all the way to soil level down that foundation tube. But at the moment, that collar is holding it about 2 inches from the top. What I'm going to do when we come to do the timber frame part, the timber part, is I'm going to lower all those brackets 6 inches. And that will allow me later, once the plastic cover's on, it will allow me to lift the frame completely. The whole frame will be independent of all the timber structure, and that will tighten the plastic. So that's the crack with that. So that will be next week sometime when we get on with the timber, and towards the end of the week put the plastic on. I'm in no rush to get it done. Now, because I spent the time getting these foundation tubes right, getting the ground right, getting it all level, and getting all these foundation tubes in at the right height, all at the right level, and straight and true, this frame went up like a dream very easily. It was just a case of putting the hoops on and connecting these top bars. And if I just lift the camera, you can see the fit in there, and it's not difficult. That pipe just feeds through and then is nipped up. None of the fittings are nipped up tight. They can all go another quarter half turn to when I come to final tighten it, once all the plastic's on and we go around and you final tighten everything, so they'll all go a bit tighter. But what I am going to do next is, I've got this big bar here, and that's a crop bar, so I'm going to crack on and get these two crop bars on this now. Now, these crop bars are held on by way of a Q-clip, and if you see it like that, you can see why it's called a Q-clip. And just open it out a little bit, pop it around the tube, close it up as much as you can, and then just pop your crop bar end into there. It's a flattened end and then drilled. And I'll just put a nut on. I'm not going to bother nipping it up all the way tight. You'll see why in a second. So now I'm just going to roughly move this into position. It's around about there. Right, and with the other end, again, another Q-clip. Open it out, close him back as much as you can. And then we're just going to put a bolt through. And then put a nut on the top. And then we can position this. This will move wherever we want it to now. It's only on loose, so it will move up and down. And I can position this so it's central and level. Although I'm not too concerned about it being level at this stage. I can do that later really. But it's up, and that's the main thing. Right, I have spent a little bit of time this morning just going over and checking the levels, especially on these bottom brackets here, these things, because these are what this hoop actually sits on. So I've been checking across the tunnel to make sure they're level, and then side to side, and then diagonally as much as I possibly can, just to ensure that everything is level before I move on. And I've realised I'm going to have to cut this video sort of about here really, because I was putting the bits together that I've already filmed of this, and it's already fairly long, and I think we'll call it quits here for this video, and we'll crack on with the timber, and all the timber work that needs to go on this will be in a separate video. And that entails, I've got a side rail and a base rail. The side rail will fit to this, a bit higher up than a base rail, obviously a bit lower down. And between the base and side rail, the lad who purchased this bought it with an all netting bottom all the way around. So between the side and base rail, all the way around is netting, and above that is the plastic. So they need fitting, and at the end here there are two big wooden sort of frames for the doors to fit in, and then they all connect to the base and side rail as well. So there's a whole other structure to go around this. So that will be on the next video, but for this one, this is it. So I hope you've been enjoying this tunnel going up. I'm certainly enjoying putting it up, So the tunnel will carry on in the next video with the timber frame options, and then we can think about putting covers on and fitting doors and those sorts of things. And after that there's all the gutters, and there's the roll down curtain I've got for one side of it. So I'm going to make a few alterations to the tunnel as it came to me. So yeah, there's lots to enjoy and watch, and lots to come up. So anyway, look after yourselves everyone, stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra now.